what was the big difference in the post-debate analysis this time? It all focused on Joe Biden. In the past, it's always been about the alleged falsehoods made by Donald Trump. But this time, the fact-checking focused almost entirely on Joe Biden, not just from the conservative, small c conservative press, the pro-Republican press in the United States, like my publication here, the Post Millennial, but even CNN. Shocking. CNN did the same thing. And we'll go to that in a minute. But just watch how bad things were Thursday night.
We made sure that we are in a situation where you had no circumstance where they could come across the border with the number of border police there are now. We significantly increased the number of asylum officers. By the way, the Border Patrol endorsed my position. In addition to that, we found ourselves in a situation where when he was president, he was separating babies from their mothers, putting them in cages, making sure the families were separated. That's not the right way to go. What I've done.
We'll see the rest of this clip in a minute. But in the description below, you'll find information to watch my interview with JJ Carrell, former U.S. Border Patrol deputy in charge. JJ Carrell explains how the United States has somehow lost 600,000 children. And you know what that means. I don't have to explain right now what that means. Watch the interview to find out at the link below. Millions, 45 million illegals have come across the border. And no, the Border Patrol has not endorsed Joe Biden. Let's watch the rest of
Since I've changed the law, what's happened? I've changed it in a way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. That's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we can do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look.
Yes, the Border Patrol Union has not endorsed Joe Biden. He's been a disaster.
Well, this is the dirty topic, right? This is the topic that makes everybody run, and they don't want to talk about it. But I'm going to talk about it. And I've been talking about it for over a year now, and I'm screaming more as I dive deeper in it and I meet people that are working inside these child migrant centers. So we call them unaccompanied alien children, UACs. They cross the border as young as infants. Their brothers and sisters carry them, and or up to 17 years old. Under Joe Biden, over 600,000 of these children have been brought into the United States. There are over 400 detention facilities across America. There's an infrastructure to transport these children. The 150 of them are in Texas. They range from holding tens to holding thousands of children. Thousands. 500 to 600 unaccompanied alien children cross the border every single day. Last year was almost 140,000 of them. 140,000. Okay? When the Border Patrol gets an individual that's an unaccompanied child, we process them and we turn them over to NGOs. But let me just try to explain, give you some context, okay? Long time ago, 3.5 years ago, not 30 years ago, but the old days of 3.5 years before this demented old fool became the president. In my totality of my career, I can't remember more than 10 or 15 unaccompanied alien children that I had control over or I watched. It never happened. It just never happened. Now you have 600,000. And now Javier Becerra, the director of Health and Human Services, and the female director of Office of Refugee Resettlement, those are two organizations that are basically like a giant federal child protective services. They've gone in front of Congress and says, I don't know where they are. I have no idea. I'm talking to a man that worked in these facilities for years, and the horrors that he tells me.
The horrors that he tells me. That's the reality of the southern U.S. border. That's the reality of how Joe Biden has performed as president. He had an open border. He's had an open border since his inauguration day, when he signed an executive order making it an open border. He's maintained an open border every year since then. And for him to talk about things are better than they were under Donald Trump is a bald-faced lie. And it's so irrational, so detached from reality. I don't know how anybody could even consider it for a minute to have an ounce of veracity to it. It is the worst piece of mendacity any presidential candidate has probably ever purported on a debate stage. This is a man who has literally sold out the United States' sovereignty to illegal immigrants, and he deserves to be punished. He should be going to jail for that, not reelected. But this is the man who claims he's going to stop it all now. Yeah, right. This is by design. But you want, if you don't believe the shoe dropped on Thursday night for Americans and the American media, listen to this CNN fact checker who predicted in 2016, he used to work for the Toronto Star. He predicted in 2016, one night before the presidential election, that it wasn't even close, his words. Hillary Clinton was going to take it easily. Donald Trump didn't have a chance. Listen to him talk about Joe Biden now.
He's the only president in a while who didn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world. Troops have, of course, died on his watch. He said he's put in a $15 per shot cap on insulin and Medicare. It's a $35 a month cap. He said it's a $200 cap on overall drug spending in Medicare. It's $2,000 a year. He said the border now has fewer crossings than when Trump was in office. That's generally not true. He said, or at least strongly suggested, unemployment was at 15% when he took office. It was actually 6.4. He said Trump wants to get rid of Social Security. Trump doesn't. He said billionaires pay 8.2% in taxes. It's much higher. He said Trump told Americans to inject bleach amid COVID. We know Trump made foolish comments about scientists studying disinfectant injection, but didn't frame it as advice to people. And Biden said the Border Patrol endorsed him. No, its union supported the border bill he supported, never endorsed him himself.
Is this Steve Bannon's War Room or CNN?
Yeah. Am I living in an alternate universe?
It has been, to say it again, a seismic shift. Thank you for watching this episode of Stand on Guard and being a part of the KRAYDEN'S Right channel. If you've watched this episode to this point, you've watched it all. And that's really important for a small station like this. We always say subscribe, hit the bell, be a part of the KRAYDEN resistance. Resolve to resist. That's what we're doing. And if you become a subscriber, if you're a supporter of this station or a member through Substack, through YouTube, and now you can be a local as well, that's so important to us because I couldn't do this without you. I made a decision to become an independent journalist about a year ago because I wanted to bring all of my experience in the military, in journalism, to you. I don't promise anything I can't deliver. I don't offer clickbait. I offer truth. The truth is out there, and it's my job to bring that truth to light and to you. Thanks for being a part of the KRAYDEN'S Right resistance, and we'll see you again soon.
So we are in a very precarious position in this country. We need a political change, but we also need to resolve to resist.